Alright, so we'll just pop this on here and see what we got.
And now I'm getting weird. I might have to drop Facebook.
New at 11, a Brunswick mother says police tackled her 20.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop Facebook. Bye-bye, Facebook. Narrow my bandwidth a little bit.
Son who has autism. Body camera video just released tonight shows that he was tased multiple times. And now she's demanding the Glynn County Police Department change how it approaches those with special needs. As On Your Side's Tristan Hardy reports, the man's family says it's left him traumatized and scared to go outside.
This is body cam video from a Glynn County police officer Saturday night around 8:30. The department says officers were responding to a 911 call that a man appeared to be carrying a weapon, screaming and hitting himself in the head.
What's up, man?
He's talking to Rajon Cherry, who has autism and is nonverbal, after yelling at Cherry to drop what was in his hands.
So we're going to see how many seconds it takes for him to tase this guy if we can.
What turned out to be a metal spoon, the officer fires off his taser.
Whoa! Like what, 4 seconds there?
The body camera video shows he and another officer tased Cherry multiple times, while police struggle to put him in handcuffs. You can hear a woman shout he's autistic.
Now this is what happens if you're autistic and you have a spoon in your hand when the police show up. And this is from 2 years ago here.
I failed him because I couldn't.
Now, also what I want to notice is that this is a black autistic man, which is a young black autistic man, which is the most likely to be brutalized by the police.
Indeed, I couldn't keep him safe.
Out of all people, a young black autistic man is the most likely to be brutalized and unlived by the police.
It's hard for me.
Cherry's family says Rajon is known to walk around the neighborhood in the evening. His mother, Cheryl Johnson, describes her son as a gentle person who doesn't have a history of misbehaving.
Let's look over the black and white fact. Let's look over the special needs fact. You didn't need
Nope. I don't want to look over that, but I understand where you're going.
even treat him as a human.
First Coast News reached out to the Glynn County Police Department for comment. Jacques Baptiste, the chief of police, says, quote, I commend the officers for using...
I commend the officers. Oh my God. What a piece of crap.
...using less lethal force and their ability to read the terrain as the event unfolded, preventing loss of life or serious injury to anyone.
So, in other words, I'm just happy you didn't kill him. That's literally what the police chief says. I'm just happy you didn't kill him.
Involved. To Cherry's mother, police still need more training.
Hire an educated...
He didn't do anything wrong.
...that's trained to deal with people with special needs.
Glynn County PD says this incident is under administrative review. Tristan Hardy, First Coast News, on your side.
So there you have it, right off the bat. Now, I've seen this one here.
Get on your stomach! Step it up!
Eustis Police released this body cam video so you can see their side of the story.
You had the perfect storm.
Their side of the story. Hey, King, how you doing?
Greyha agreed to go on camera. So
notice this man is black again. A young black man again.
She could tell her son's side of the story.
He don't know what y'all talking about, what y'all doing to him. Please get off him.
The story starts Saturday afternoon in a Eustis.
Okay, so we're at 29 seconds right now.
Police get a call. Burglary in progress.
He's got his gun out in 4 seconds. In 4 seconds, he had his gun out.
She did not know.
He didn't even know what the damn situation was. He didn't have time to assess the scene whatsoever. He is just gun out.
No, approached her.
And that was his gun, not a taser.
Allegedly tried to break into her house.
I don't know if you
Notice that this is a white woman.
he was slamming.
And by the way, this was bullshit. He wasn't wandering around the house or anything. He wasn't trying to get in. She was lying. She was a Karen. And of course, she did not get prosecuted for it.
I heard the knob on the door like shake.
White people love to lie about black people. It is fucked up.
Eustis police quickly find the man they're
Now
looking
he switched. He switched here. But he started with his gun out.
Commands, and all they know is he's ignoring every one of them.
There's no reason for them to do this shit. There's zero reason for them to be aggressive with him.
Don't know.
Why did they jump out and be aggressive with him and say, hey, what's up? What's going on? But no, he pulled out his gun and the moment he got out of the vehicle. He did not stop to say, hey, what's up, dude? No. He immediately got super aggressive, and that is how they are trained. I was a peace officer for 15 years. What they're trained is, everybody's a drug addict, and they are going to try to kill you. That is the mentality they have. And not only that, there's the biggest factor is that they've got that big bad badge on their chest, and they're going to tell him exactly what he's going to do. 95-98% of peace officers are there for power and control. Oh yeah, the worst thing that you can possibly do if an autistic person's having a meltdown is call the cops. If you do, you should plan on that person being unlifed or, at the minimum, brutalized by the police. And it's happened to me twice.
20-year-old Louis Graham
in the last 2
is a man
years.
diagnosed with severe autism, cannot speak, according to his family.
Yep, he looks pretty dang black to me, and he looks pretty darn young, and he is the exact demographic that you expect to see the most often. In fact, young black men, as I said, are the most likely to be brutalized and unlifed by the police.
He has the mental capacity of a 4-year-old. He's over 6 feet tall and wears diapers.
I really hate when they say that mental capacity of a 4-year-old, because in any way, shape, or form, it's just not exactly. They're not a 4-year-old. This is a man. Okay, he may be autistic, but he's a man, and he may be slow, but he's not a 4-year-old, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't even be said.
Everybody loves Luke. He's lovable.
Hands behind your back. Put your hands behind.
Remember, it was with 4 seconds, and that guy had his gun out. From the time he stopped.
Louis normally does not wander far from home, but on this day he did. Police tase him. He barely reacts.
What for? Why did they tase him? What did he do wrong? What crime did he commit? Zero. He was walking down the street.
They tase him again. There's confusion.
Put your hands behind your back.
Then more confusion when the family gets to.
It is dehumanizing to say stuff like that. That he has the capacity. Technically, I think I stopped maturing emotionally 8 or 10. My emotions never have matured at all. I'm just like a little kid, and it's from the alexithymia. I can't help it. Now, as a 53-year-old man, I have matured, but I have matured intellectually, not emotionally, and I can't. I never will. Just
to the scene.
Okay, we got a call about him breaking into someone's house. No. So that's where we're at right now.
Nope.
I see my baby on the ground with one taser in the back of his neck.
Eustis Police Chief Craig Capri says
they don't know that it was him. It could have been another black man. They just saw a black man on the street and attacked him. That's literally what we saw here. They didn't ask him any questions or anything else. They didn't want to talk to him. They didn't want to figure out what was going on. He had his gun out first.
His officers were doing the best they could with the information they had.
The escalation was used here.
Bullshit! That's what he calls de-escalation. So if that's de-escalation, he's lucky he's not dead.
On the knowledge they had at the time. Had they known this was a severely autistic person, I doubt anything.
They didn't know anything. All they knew is they had a report of some, evidently probably a black man, maybe they got a report of a black man trying to break in the house. So the first black man they see, they assault. That's literally what happened here.
Push would have been used. I think they did everything right.
They did everything right. This is what's sad. The police chiefs always say that, well, it was within policy. It's within policy to do this, to block young autistic men. That's bullshit.
It could have been a lot worse. Thank God it wasn't.
But Lou's mom disagreed.
See? It could have been a lot worse. So in other words, he can't restrain his damn cops. He doesn't know what the hell they're going to do.
Everything wrong. Says her son's got neck damage, ear damage, one taser lodged behind his ear.
He can't even holler out, cry, or tell you you hurting him.
One story.
I don't know if it is going to get worse. Why do you believe it's going to get worse? The one problem is they start with education. There has been some studies that have proven that, are found that when they get their 2-hour class or whatever, they think they know everything about autism. And if they don't see particular things that they remember from what their class was, if they don't see everything exactly as they think it should be, that person's just a drug addict.
Two sides. A glimpse into what...
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. When you defund and defund institutions and you defund mental health and you make laws to go after people that are homeless and so forth, you are targeting autistic people and other people of other mental illnesses. Because what, 80% of us are never employed in our entire life? Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Police departments deal.
And this is why we really have to be as vocal as you can possibly be and do diddly squat like this. Hopefully, it makes a slight difference somewhere.
And a glimpse into the...
And they had this guy for like 40 minutes in cuffs before they finally released him.
Of a mother and her worst fear.
If he wouldn't have went down when you tased him, what's the next thing you're going to do, shoot him?
Yes.
Because that's my worst nightmare, something happening to him.
That was his first choice.
Michelle Meredith, Washington News.
His first choice was shoot him, and I will show you that.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading.
Okay, let's go back.
Okay, watch this. This is not a taser. What is going on here?
Get on your stomach! Step it up!
Eustis Police released this body cam video so you can see their side of the story.
You had the perfect storm.
The mother of Louis Greyha agreed to go on camera so she...
I think that was a gun that they had there pointed at him before they tased him.
What y'all talking about, what y'all doing to him, please get off him.
The story...
Watch. Now,
Saturday
he's going to draw his weapon.
In Eustis neighborhood. Police get a call. Burglary.
Here. That's not a taser. That's his gun.
The woman,
and you can see the barrel there.
Is scared. Says a man she did not know approached her, then allegedly tried to break into her house.
Yeah, he was just sitting there. Absolutely. And the thing is he was walking down the street. He didn't do anything wrong. Woman with autism is confronted by police more than once, but with different outcomes.
Were there jokes you left out of your set in the road?
I believe that.
I'd like to say that the proceeds from tonight...
I was assaulted by sheriff's officers because there might have been a suspicious Hispanic female in the neighborhood. And I was sitting on my porch having a cup of coffee. They came up and freaking brutalized me. arrested me and all kinds of crap. They released me because I hadn't done anything wrong, but they just, yeah. The other one was when I went to, right after my son committed suicide, I went to the Veterans Administration and told them that I needed mental health, and they arrested me then too. But that was because I had been trying to get mental health through the VA for 2 years. And I was extremely distraught. I was completely screwed up. But I told them if I did not, he committed suicide last October. And in September, I told them if I did not get proper mental health care from the VA on New Year's Eve, I was going to commit suicide. And that I had already put it on TikTok, which I did. That I was going to take my life out of protest. And back then, I would have for sure. But magically, they all of a sudden came up with the doctor, and now, after 3 years of fighting, there is actually one doctor for the VA that sets aside 1 day a month that they see autistic veterans, and that's because of me. And the reason is I said, look, post-COVID, you have the opportunity to do video conferences from Guam or anywhere else and see a guy in Kentucky, right? And the thing is the VA has thousands and thousands of doctors and counselors and so forth. Some of those, I said, are probably, well, you know that some of those are, they have prior experience to coming to the VA with autistic people. So send out an email to all your mental health people and ask what experience they have with autistic people. Put them on a list. Now you have a list of doctors that are specialized in autistic people that can see autistic people from anywhere in the world. I'm talking about psychiatrists or psychologists. And the same thing with counselors. And they finally did it, but I had to threaten to take my life. And that pissed them off, so they called the police and had me arrested. Because I had the audacity to threaten them. I would have done it, though. It wasn't a threat. I would have definitely done it. And I was going to do it just to embarrass them and make a point.
You can learn a lot by watching an officer's body camera video. That is Kaylee refusing to leave a gas station parking lot. How was jail?
And it was not good.
But knowing she does not want to go to jail doesn't seem to stop her behavior. She has spent time in
they got her in flex cuffs too.
2 years for offenses related to disorderly conduct.
When I'm mad, I'm not gonna be quiet. You're not gonna silence me.
Kaylee has autism, developmental disabilities, and behavioral problems due to a lifetime of trauma. The world's rules on how to act don't come naturally.
And number 2 is females that are assaulted or whatever, autistic females behind black young men.
And her mom says until now, many of the therapies that could have helped have been denied by Medicaid.
It's truly...
There really aren't that many therapies that could have helped, but I hope she's not trying to go towards ABA.
Unfair for these children not to be able to access services that they need.
Ooh. Child welfare advocates say they see it over and over again.
The criminal justice system. We see that a lot with children who are in juvenile justice because they're not getting the supports that they need.
But
it's not their fault at all.
Juvenile justice says it's treating 60% of the children in custody for some type of mental health disorder. Top diagnoses, PTSD and ADHD, almost identical to the top diagnoses we found in the children abandoned to state custody.
Okay, I can get myself.
But when Kaylee's outbursts started leading to arrests, she was too old for DJJ.
Can you tell me what's going on?
And that's why we were able to obtain these. Body camera video showing 2 different calls to Newton County's 911 with 2 very different outcomes. We timed each response.
Is it a mentally problem? Or?
I think that's what it might be.
In this incident last year, The officer seemed at a loss when Kaylee refused to answer her questions.
Where are you from? None of their business.
Yeah, it is none of her damn business.
How many get your hands on my face?
She begged everyone to stop touching her.
They're making her have a meltdown. They are making it worse.
Clips are broken, but the time.
And now look at this. What did she do? She was standing there. She was standing there.
Indicates that within 10 minutes.
So now they're going to brutalize her.
Officer's arrival, Kaylee was in handcuffs.
I don't want to take you. I want to talk to you. No, I don't know what's going on.
Let's reset the clock and compare that to this response a year.
And see how that cop says, "Hey, what's going on?" Now let's see if he's just being a jerk, or if he.
Kaylee has run away in the middle of the night, upset about the anniversary of her father's death.
I don't have my dad, so I don't give a if I die. Now please leave me the alone.
In this case, Newton County Corporal Jathan
They cuffed her up.
arrived on scene with 2 other officers, all with crisis intervention training.
Most times,
crisis intervention training, they have her cuffed up. That's not crisis intervention. That's escalating.
When they're talking, they're telling you things that will trigger them or, may escalate the situation. So you really have to pick up on that.
37, can you kill those lights?
Triggers like
no, it's the cops that escalate the situation because, thank you. Turn off the lights.
In the car or getting too close. CIT is an intense, week-long course for officers that, on this night, help Kaylee calm down, allowing her to think about her actions.
Maybe she just had her hands behind her back.
Anybody.
You're okay, Kaylee.
No, I'm trying to find my impulse.
Maybe she's just holding her hands.
And finally accept her emotions.
Okay, cool.
De-escalation took longer. Corporal Nagroski calmly tried to connect with Kaylee for 22 minutes. But overall, it saved time and trauma.
Of course.
There was no drive to the jail, no charges to clog our courts. Was this a situation where she needed to be arrested?
No.
So, not everybody with mental health needs to be arrested.
So he didn't answer the question.
In each case, Kaylee's tears.
She asked specifically, was it necessary for her to be arrested? And then he did not answer the question. So no, it was not necessary.
Children with
and that's the difference between what they can do and what is necessary. And they prefer to go with what they can do because they're big bad cops.
Mental and behavioral needs.
They're going to make her do what they want her to.
Behind bars won't change their struggle.
It's really sad. It doesn't sound like I'm a cop at all.
To Nami.
Oops.
Nagroski says they're given a list of resources to
That's all right. I was fired for being autistic.
Share with families. Because CIT isn't just about keeping those experiencing a crisis out of jail.
I think that's Mom.
When it goes right and everybody leaves and everybody's safe and that information is passed along, it does feel good.
But sometimes you can't help but worry or wonder.
You always wonder because you never know.
Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know anymore.
The next time they have an episode, is it going to go the same way?
She's sad because of her dad. It's like I was with my son and I got arrested. You know? You see, there's just story after story. I don't know how long I'm going to go on.
A 911 call for help spiraling out of control after a woman says her autistic neighbor followed her home. Thanks for joining us. I'm Patrick Nolan. Emily's off tonight. 4 in Your Corner, continuing to dig deeper into why Collier County Sheriff's deputies say they had no choice but to punch and tase the teenager, whose family says deputies went too far. 4 in Your Corner's Katie Jones.
They had no choice whatsoever. Is there any body cam footage?
We're now learning the Collier County Sheriff's Office is investigating a complaint made by the Autistic.
I always thought it was hilarious that they have these reporters out in the front of these places that are closed. Like, they're really on the scene getting the top story when nobody's there.
Teen's family. Family of 16-year-old Christopher Perez.
Oh, yeah.
What started as a call for help.
Absolutely. Seems you either lose your life or get told you're crazy. Absolutely.
Spiraled way.
Well, actually, drugs. It's usually drugs.
Out of control.
Collier County 911. What is the address to your...
Now, this is the first mistake that was made.
I was just walking. It's this young guy out here in the neighborhood, and I think he's kind of slow. I don't want to say mentally retarded or something. He's a young guy, but he's always following me.
Christopher has autism. His family says he has the mind of a 9-year-old and can't even tie his own shoes. But according to 911 calls on Sunday night, his neighbor, Takira Bobbitt, called for help out of fear.
Probably a white girl.
That he was following her.
I came to my front door. I figured he was following me, and I looked out my peephole, and he has fingers covering my peephole.
In an arrest report, deputies stated when they got to the Ospreys Landing apartment complex, Christopher was violently resisting, so much so...
Wait. How the fuck did he violently resist when they just showed up? And what did they do? They pounced his ass, and that's why he was resisting, because he didn't know what the hell was going on. What a bunch of lying crap.
They had to tase and punch the boy several times.
Punch? They had to Okay, an autistic kid wandering around the neighborhood, some white girl gets scared, and now they have to punch and tase him, they say.
Family members say that was excessive force.
Whatever they say is not excuse for them to use force on a 16-year-old mentally challenged kid.
A Collier County Sheriff's spokeswoman tells me their Professional Responsibility Bureau has launched an investigation and can't comment until it's complete. Some of Christopher's neighbors tell me the teen is harmless.
I think he would have been scared. From any experience I have with someone with autism, probably wouldn't understand what was going on.
And they say that 911 call should have never been.
His problem was he was brown and autistic and a young man. That was his problem, being brown and autistic.
Been made.
He's obviously a teenager, probably 110 pounds, innocent. An innocent kid with disability, and it's a shame.
I did try to speak.
Oh, like when I got assaulted, by the cops both times, they knew I was autistic. They didn't give a shit.
To the neighbor who called 911, but she wasn't.
And then I did start to have a meltdown because I was a peace officer and I knew they were breaking the law both times.
At home, and apartment managers asked us to leave the property. I'll of course keep you updated on any new developments in this investigation.
No, cops haven't helped me either. Police officers ended up shooting her son multiple times. We understand. Yeah, no shit. he says when you see a badge, you automatically think you're going to kill him. Yeah. Or he has to defend himself. Yeah, I feel that way. No, the reason I do is because I was a cop, and I know what they do. I know exactly how it goes down, because I've been there and I've seen both sides. Saying her son Cameron needed to be brought to the hospital. She called cops, and the police arrived. She said her son threatened to shoot her co-worker and smash the windows out of her house. Okay, let's go back here a little bit. When police arrived, she said her son threatened... Oh my God! Oh my God! Well, she set her son up to get killed. I don't think he got killed, but... Unbelievable. This is a 13-year-old boy. Did he have a gun? Oh my God. She set her son up to get killed. Ugh. We treat them all as if they are. Wow. Yeah, you could have a completely freaking blaze orange squirt gun, and he's going to treat it as if it's real. Okay, let's see. He just got on scene. 1 minute 19 seconds. So this is when he's actually trying to do something. Yeah, he muted it. That's because when they mute shit, that's because they're saying shit they shouldn't. Which is bullshit.
Stop running!
Okay, so the kid's just running. Doesn't have a gun, he's just running. Now, why does he have to feel that he has to shoot the kid? There's zero reason to shoot him.
Get on the ground! On the
Not armed. You can see his hands. "13 years old. He felt he had to kill a 13-year-old boy. And you were taught you do not pull out your weapon unless you plan on destroying something. Unless you plan on killing them. You do not draw your weapon.
That's in our policy now.
They don't even know their damn policy. And that's a policy, not law. Because I'm not about to get involved in a shooting because he's upset. Now this lady had a clear head.
Especially when he hates cops and calling him man.
Now CIT is crisis intervention. Now on my card that I made, this is the only card like this in the world, actually, that I found because I cannot find anything like it on the internet. Every single one says that I might be aggressive, I might, or something like suggest that you're going to be aggressive or something like that. So I made this one because if you say in any way that I may be aggressive on the card, or I may be scared or whatever, what you're going to do is give that cop a license to kill you. Because you handed them a card that told them that you already knew you were going to be aggressive towards them. Yeah, they talked about it last week. They knew about it. This is bull. It's crazy. But on this one, this says, Police Autism Alert. Please request your supervisors and crisis intervention team's presence at the beginning of contact. I am covered by the American with Disabilities and Civil Rights Acts. You may have particular responsibilities, legal obligations under these acts. That's to make them stop and think. Please do not interpret my behavior as refusal to cooperate or comply. My autism may make it appear that I may have been consuming drugs. I may have difficulties understanding speech, have difficulty processing and understanding directions. I may be extremely sensitive to lights and sounds that may cause me pain. No eye contact. I may not be able to make eye contact or respond to your questions. I may be very frightened in situations I am not familiar with. Physical touch may cause me pain. If I do want to comply, please give me extra time to do so. And then at the very bottom it says Autism Legal Response Team or some kind of crap like that, which I made up just to make them stop and think. It says something, I can't remember, and I can't see it with these glasses. Let me see if I can put on the glasses. Autism Legal and Civil Rights Foundation. That's what I put up the very bottom. And that card just to make them stop and think and not do this crap. And I guarantee you those cops were not prosecuted, nothing happened. It was considered a good shoot.
I chose Wix for my business because of its functionality and...
Carol Robb, the incident happened on November 20th, 2023. The family says they're...
It's very true. You're right. And lawyers don't want to help unless they're getting a paycheck. That's all they care about. Do you know I went to a civil rights, ACLU attorney, and the first thing he told me is he was going to take 40%.
14-year-old son was coming home.
So even the ACLU is there for the money.
After getting snacks from a grocery store when he was tased by police in his own backyard and was later hospitalized. The family's attorney says this was a case of mistaken identity and says police must be held accountable.
No, it wasn't.
The video you're about to see might be disturbing.
Get your hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
Okay.
On the morning of November 20th of last year...
Whoa. Let's back up here. This guy just gets on the scene. Okay, so that body cam...
It was frightening. It was very scary. And I can see he was confused. He didn't know what was going on.
According to the incident report, Dalton police were called to assist Riverdale police, who were searching for 4 black males. 2 of the males...
Wow! Another black young man. Another black young man.
Were said to have fled on foot.
I'm not seeing a pattern here.
With rifles and a handgun, according to the report.
Get your hands up!
At around 10:53 a.m.
So he just sees a random black man, and this is what he does.
A Dalton police officer spots Thompson in a backyard, pursues him, and tases him.
Don't move! Don't move!
According to the police report, Thompson was positively identified as one of the offenders. But in this body cam video, you can hear what appears to be another officer questioning whether they got the right person.
I don't think that's him, bro. We lost one, though. This might not be him.
Thompson's sister comes outside, asking why they have her brother.
He a little boy! What did you do? I didn't do nothing. I know you didn't do nothing.
Thompson's mother, Gwendolyn...
Did you see how they busted that gate? They busted that gate. Look at that latch there. It's latched.
He a little boy! What did you do? I didn't do nothing. I know you didn't do nothing.
Thompson's mother...
You see that? You just busted the gate!
Gwendolyn Torin says she rushed
That's illegal.
To the hospital where her
it was illegal for him to be on their property too.
And was being treated.
This lady's autistic. You can't arrest an autistic kid, man.
You can't just go on to private property and tase some random person just because. I don't care if you do have a report that there's a white person and you see a white person in their backyard. Really? You're not going to talk to him?
After being treated at the hospital, the family says their son was turned over to Riverdale police, who released the boy later that day.
Far too often we're seeing this happen, not just in Illinois, across the country.
The family's attorney, Calvin Townsend II, says to his knowledge, his client has not been charged with a crime. He says this was a case of mistaken identity.
He's a great kid.
Attorney Townsend says his client's clothing was similar to the suspect's description, which made him a target.
He's a 14-year-old kid, and having officers rush towards you with what we know as tasers, but could be perceived as guns. It's scary. Then you add the autistic aspect. Again, it's very confusing.
Thompson's parents tell me their son suffered bruising, tase marks on his body, and a fractured hip. They say it was a traumatic experience for their son and the entire family.
They literally fractured his hip because he was hanging out in his backyard.
It's a lovable kid, you know, and I couldn't believe that this could happen to my kid.
You see so many stories of stuff like this.
What if a regular citizen was to go to do that to a cop? They go to jail. They go to prison probably.
Happening to kids, and they go to jail, they don't come out. Something happens, they end up dying. It happens every day in this world. And I don't want to see it happen to my son or anybody's kid.
I asked Dalton police if charges were filed and if they did in fact pursue the wrong person in this case. The village of Dalton says they have no comment regarding this incident. Riverdale's police chief, he said that multiple...
I'll tell you what, no comment says it all. No comment does say it all. Amazing. Wow, and here's another one.
A police officer's disturbing encounter with an autistic teen is caught on body cam.
You have any ID on you? No.
It was
I don't know why they cut that out there.
really hard to watch that. You know, that's my baby.
14-year-old Connor Leibel was approached by a police officer who was trained as a drug recognition expert. Connor was playing with a string, a technique called stimming that people with autism use to keep calm. The Buckeye Police Department in Arizona says the officer thought the teen was exhibiting behavior of
he was terrified.
Someone on drugs.
What is that? Stop walking away from me.
He pushed me down on the...
And the thing is he doesn't have to talk to that cop. He does not have to talk to that cop. That cop, if he doesn't want to talk to him, he doesn't have to. But the cop did was against the law.
Grass, and then he just hit me on the tree, and he tackled me, and then he didn't stop.
Connor suffered minor injuries like cuts and bruises, but his ankle was also hurt, and his mom says he may
I ended up with bruises all over me too.
Need surgery. The police department investigated and determined the officer was reasonable in stopping Connor, but says it will
They always say that bullshit.
Look for ways to improve training procedures
Why is he
for
hands-on
interacting
right
with
off the bat?
people who have disabilities.
I hope that the family sees that we will learn from this incident, and we are human. It's almost impossible to know and understand every single little
No. We are human does not cut it when you're breaking the law.
piece of every single disorder.
The family says they would like an apology from the officer and to know all officers will be better trained to interact with people like Connor.
I wish they showed the whole thing because it was pretty crazy. Arrest made in disturbing assault on teen with autism. Body cam. Okay.
War
Notice a lot of these are teens.
is now inevitable.
We must strike while we have the advantage.
I think a lot of times I think a lot of times as autistics mature, they learn how to avoid cops and so forth.
Put your hands behind your back. I'm sorry.
A young man with special needs. He's violently taken to the ground. Police then use a stun gun on him, all for throwing rocks into a neighbor's yard. Good evening. I'm John McKay.
I'm Cynthia Izaguirre. Thank you for joining us. We first told you about this case in Young County last week. Now we're seeing the disturbing police body cam footage. Here's Todd Unger.
You care if I search you? No.
You're looking at 19-year-old Michael Moore.
Okay, that's a trick question, and they do that on purpose. You mind if I do this? If you say yes, you're giving consent. If you say no, you're saying no. I don't have a problem with you searching me. That is a trick question that they use when they're fishing. In other words, trying to strum something up. That's why they ask you all the questions and shit when they pull you over. It's the same damn thing. They're trying to find something to get on you.
I'm okay.
He's autistic and about to have an encounter with Graham police.
Everyone wonder maybe they keep us proper support. If they keep us from proper support and diagnosis so they can keep doing this. The cops themselves, they're there for power and control. 98% of the cops are there for the wrong reasons. That's why defunding the police will never work, because you're still going to attract, if you fired every cop in this country today, the people that would be attracted to become cops are still going to be the same type of people, those who are seeking power and control. The badge is a very dangerous thing. And remember, I was a peace officer for 15 years.
Bad turn.
Yeah. Where do you live at, Mr. Moore? Right here.
Moore is being questioned in his own backyard 2 weeks ago after a neighbor called 911 to report a man tossing rocks into their yard.
The police pulled up and he waved at me and I ran out to them and asked me, "Do you live here?" And I said yes.
We first sat down with Michael and his mom last week.
And that's none of your business is what the proper answer is.
Week. Police don't know he's autistic when they arrive, thinking instead he's high or drunk. The body camera footage shows him becoming visibly confused.
Follow it with your eyes and your eyes only.
Okay, never, ever do a sobriety test. Tell them no. Refuse it. Say, look, I'm autistic. I couldn't pass that on a good day. Because once again, they will use that as an excuse. Now he's going to say, well, he was displaying things that acted like he was on drugs, so I had to fuck him up.
Keep your arms at your side.
After a couple minutes, things escalate.
Oh, yeah, you can say no to all kinds of things. There's all kinds, and that's what pisses off the cops when they get a hold of me now because I was a peace officer and I know the law. And one way that you can learn the laws is watch the cop auditors and so forth, and you can learn a lot there. But the problem is if you do know the law and you stand up for yourself, that's going to piss them off and make them more aggressive.
But handcuffs.
So it is a catch-22. You either comply with every one of their illegal commands, or you stand up to piss them off, and then they trump shit up and get aggressive and will eventually assault you like they're going to do here.
Put your hands behind your back. I'm sorry.
Michael is taking
they went hands on first, and then they said put your hands behind your back for no fucking reason.
Ground and stunned twice by a taser.
Hit him again. Hit him again. I'm gonna hit you again.
Throughout the takedown.
You're about to get tased.
The young man repeatedly yells for his mother, who's just out of earshot in the front of the house.
This is my child, and you have put your hands on him, and you have hurt him.
When word of this first got out, the police department's Facebook page was inundated with hundreds, if not thousands, of comments. Today, they are still standing behind these officers, while also acknowledging the need to do more training.
And that means that they fucked up, but we're not going to admit it. What a bunch of pieces of crap.
The chief saying in part via a statement, quote, the department...
It's always going to say it was within policy, and therefore it was good.
We'll use this opportunity to expand our awareness and ability to serve diverse residents within our community.
Have him detained. Yes,
Michael suffered facial and eye injuries. These photos were snapped at the hospital.
You're not going to kill, baby.
His family maintains if officers had simply knocked at their front door, it all could have been avoided.
Yep.
Now we under...
Yep. This is interesting.
The grandmother of an autistic student who was strangled has spoken about how police failed her grandson. Margaret Palmer claims the police did not take 21-year-old Adrian seriously because of his condition. Her concerns are echoed in a survey released exclusively to Channel 4 News. The poll of almost 800 people with autism and their carers found more than half of those who had reported crimes rated their treatment by police as poor. Asha Tanner has been hearing their experiences.
God, they have to throw in the piano music. Really? Yeah, and the UK is really bad. I think the UK is worse. Well, England specifically. England specifically is really bad.
He was very easily led. As he took everything literally.
In fact, the UK during the pandemic, they instructed all first responders that if they found out that a person had Down syndrome or was autistic, that not to resuscitate them. That really happened. Just because they're autistic. It didn't matter their functioning levels or anything. Just because they're autistic, they were instructed not to resuscitate them if they had an accident or something.
And he said something to him, asked him to do something. He would do it, and he wouldn't realise the consequences. So he was really easy to manipulate.
Margaret Palmer raised her grandson, Adrian. He had Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism. In May 2006, the 21-year-old was strangled and his body was dumped in an alleyway.
Oh, geez.
She says he was targeted because his disability made him vulnerable. She says because of his autism, police failed to help him when they had the chance.
I feel that he was treated differently to other people, that they were scared to believe what he was saying. You know, they didn't want to believe what he was saying, so he had no support.
It was her husband who first learnt of his death.
So he went round to where it happened, and the police told him to keep away. He said, well, my grandson's missing. And then they come and told him, and brought him home. Oh, God.
Okay, gonna move along. Police handcuffed this teen who reportedly has autism while he was having a medical meltdown.
Please.
Okay, there's no reason to cuff him. No reason to cuff him.
I don't want him to hurt anybody, okay?
He's not killing anybody.
He's not hurting anybody. He's not doing anything wrong. Yet they're doing this shit. And that's exactly what they did to me.
You have to be careful.
Back up. Hey, what are you doing?
What a piece of shit cop. He also doesn't know how to load his cuffs either.
You need to put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Stop.
I'm not hurting no one.
Put your hands behind your back.
Boy, this is sad. Oh, really?
Yes. Let's get him outside.
Let me see if I can turn that. Thank you for telling me. Maybe. Is that going to do it there? Yeah, that might do it.
Back up. Back up. Back up.
Why am I going to jail?
You're not going to jail. We're going to get you help in an ambulance.
Yeah, but there's no reason for you to put me in handcuffs.
Okay.
Or give me a good reason. Take him out, please. I know. I'm not hurting no one. I'm only hurting my damn self.
Let's get inside the car.
No. I'm not getting inside your damn car. Take it off.
What a bunch of pieces of crap.
Oh, my leg. What the?
Back up. No. Back up.
That's actually what it ended up kind of looking like with me.
Back up.
He's hitting his head. He's gonna
go to that side.
Both times they arrested me.
Okay, he's having a seizure. Let's bring him aside. Bring him outside.
And by the way, I was arrested twice, but I They dropped the charges. Well, I wasn't even charged with anything. They just broke the law and assaulted me. And I was peace officer for 15 years, so I know exactly what the law was.
Okay, recovery position, we're fine. Okay, we have an ambulance on the way. You're not going to jail. You will not go to jail.
Well, take them off.
We cannot do that.
Why?
Yeah, you can.
I'm not hurting no one.
He can take them off. There is zero fucking reason for them to be doing this. All they're doing is escalating the situation and hurting that autistic person. That's all that's happening because they're big bad cops.
I'm hurting myself, but I don't know how to control it.
I know.
Oh yeah, it's going to be reviewed by the police department that did it. And no matter what, they always find that it was perfectly within policy.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
And you're fair.
I know, but I don't want him to hurt anybody, okay?
He's not killing anybody. David?
What a piece of crap. Officers say they acted in self-defense during shooting that killed autistic boy.
Ever wonder why so many people say they want to learn guitar, but very few actually learn to play?
Police body camera footage captured the shooting, and the moment officers realized there was a boy in the car.
I never saw a kid in the car, man.
6-year-old Jeremy Martist, who is autistic, died in the front seat, shot 4 times. His father, Chris Few, was critically wounded. Speaking publicly about that night for the first time today, Mr. Few told the jury officers gave no warning before they opened fire. I had my hands in the air, Few testified. I put my hands out the window. They kept shooting. Several witnesses also told the jury Mr. Few had his hands up, which body camera footage appears to confirm. But Officer Derek Stafford's attorney says he and his partner acted in self-defense after a 2-mile pursuit.
He negligently and intentionally reversed his vehicle in an attempt to hit the officers.
Few admitted to drinking that night but told the jury he would never hit an officer and only wanted to get his son to a caretaker so the boy wouldn't be involved in a possible arrest. The prosecution argues nothing Few did that night justified the deadly response.
Derek Stafford is on trial, and it's just a shame that they want to put the victim on trial.
Stafford and Officer Norris Greenhouse, who also fired shots at the scene and will be tried separately, have pleaded not guilty.
I'm really glad that they did that. This is the first time I've ever seen any cops being held accountable for anything when it comes to autistic people. So I'm really glad to see this. This was 7 years
Trial
ago.
continues on Wednesday. Jacob Rascone, NBC.
That's so sad. Video shows Georgia officers tasing nonverbal man with autism 6 times during struggle. I think we saw that one. We saw her. Saw him. Miami police shooting, man with autism traumatized, family says.
New questions tonight about a controversial police shooting. An unarmed therapist who was trying to help a man with autism. That man's family speaking out tonight.
Now look at this. We got a black man again on the ground with his hands up, okay? Now this guy is a counselor. Now this guy is the autistic guy. Now this gentleman right here that's laying down, the counselor was telling the cops that the guy that he's with is autistic. So the cops shoot the counselor. They shot the counselor. Why? No reason.
Here's ABC's Marcy Gonzalez.
The man sitting on the ground is Arnaldo Rios Soto, a 26-year-old with autism. Tonight, his family telling ABC News he is utterly traumatized.
It's just so sad that he couldn't walk down the street with his caregiver.
Soto's therapist, Charles Kinsey, lying down with his hands up, is heard on this video explaining the object in Soto's hand is not a weapon. Officer Jonathan Aleda shooting Kinsey in the leg. The police union...
He shot the black man. Why the hell did he shoot him?
saying the officer was trying to protect Kinsey and was actually aiming at Soto, thinking he was a threat. Kinsey's attorney questioning that claim.
If I'm an officer and I make a mistake and shoot an individual, the last thing that I'm going to do is go and throw some handcuffs on him.
Aleda releasing a statement saying in part, "I took this job to save lives and help people. I did what I had to do." Tonight, Officer Aleda is on paid administrative leave. And now
I don't know that anything ever happened to that officer. But yeah, he shot the guy on the ground. That wasn't autistic, just because. Do you know if that officer was ever held accountable for that? Because that's messed up.
Video from Vacaville shows a police officer forcing a teenager to the ground and punching him. The confrontation caught on a neighbor's camera. Our crime reporter Henry Lee is joining us now. And Henry, the teen's family says he has autism.
That's right, Christina. The department says the officer did not know at the time that the teen, who was an assault suspect, has special needs, and the boy's family is upset at the officer's conduct. This is video showing a Vacaville police officer throwing a 17-year-old boy with autism and ADHD to the ground after the teen tried to run away. The officer then punches him. The struggle continues.
It was a very poor decision professionally from that officer.
The confrontation was caught on Josh Bartholomew's Ring cameras on Wednesday. He knows the teenager and his family who live around the corner.
The officer had an opportunity to de-escalate. He used the discretion to escalate the situation, and it turned out how it was.
Every single one of these has been the cops escalating the situation. Every single one.
We completely understand.
By the way, did that echo go away? Is there any echo going on?
That the video shown on social media is extremely difficult to watch.
Vacaville Police Sergeant Katie Cardona says the teenager was a suspect in an assault with a pipe that left a 16-year-old boy hurt. Police say the officer's responsibility was to find the suspect and that the teen resisted.
The arresting officer did not have prior knowledge that the subject was...
Did he even know who the hell the kid was? He just gets out of the car and starts escalating. He doesn't walk up to the kid and say, "Hey, what's going on?" or anything like that. No, he immediately escalated the situation. You know, you can get out of a car and say, "Hey, what's up?" Well, I got this report that, I've got this, report of a kid that looks like you that had a pipe or whatever and blah, 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 blah. But no.
Special needs individual.
But KTVU has obtained Vacaville police audio showing that another officer not on scene did know after consulting with dispatch.
Is the subject that has autism from possibly special needs for prior contact. Not that I'm familiar with him.
But by then, the officer was already struggling with the teen.
1-5 Adam, fighting with one.
As they say, he was resisting.
And there is zero reason to punch in the face. You are taught not to punch people as a peace officer. You were specifically taught not to throw punches.
Which I know in the video.
And then in some departments, they teach you how to do it so that you don't leave bruises and so forth.
It appears that he was resisting.
Which I had that class too.
End of the day, he's just an autistic kid.
Now, this incident is under investigation by Vacaville police. The teen was cited for assault with a deadly weapon and released. His father did not want to comment in an interview, but did post on Facebook, "I am pro-police, but I am not pro-abuse."
It just doesn't stop.
Hey, it's Nathan Seelov with another edition of Autism Actually Speaking. Normally I like to make my videos entertaining or funny or silly because I like entertaining people. I like making people laugh and I like making people smile. And if that's the type of video that you're looking for this week, then this might not be the right video for you. Because today I'm going to be talking about an issue that has been kept in the dark for way too long. One that it's time to address. Police brutality against autistics. I try to avoid being too political on this channel, unless it pertains to disability. And I've been really hesitant to make this video for a while, because I understand that this is likely going to generate controversy. But events that have happened to people that I care about have made me realize that I can't be silent about this any longer. I have to say something. Now, before I start, let me get one thing clear. There are some truly amazing police officers who have done heroic deeds. I have known and befriended many over the years.
And I agree, but 98% of them are there for power and control and should not be wearing a badge. That's the problem. I was a peace officer for 15 years, and I saw it in every department. Police work attracts bullies, and they get a badge. They're bullies with the badge.
I understand that sometimes things get complicated when trying to enforce the law, and I truly mourn any police officer that has paid the ultimate sacrifice to keep their community safe. But when the very people that we rely on to protect us are the very people that we have to fear.
I'll just put it this way. Would you, if you're walking down the street, let's say L.A., Sunset Strip or something, and you see a bunch of gang members on one side of the street walking towards you, and you see a couple of cops walking on the other side, which side of the street are you more likely going to want to go on? Who are you going to trust?
We have a problem. These stories need to be heard. Connor LaBelle was a 14-year-old boy who was stemming in a park when a patrolling cop saw him, thought he was on drugs, handcuffed him, and pinned him to the ground against a tree, while
threw him to the ground.
Connor screamed. Connor's mother filed a complaint with the police department, and an internal investigation cleared the cop entirely. Arnaldo Rios was a young autistic man who walked out of a group home to play outside. Someone called the police to report someone armed and suicidal. A police officer showed up and saw something in Arnaldo's hands. It was a toy truck, but the cop thought it was a gun, and he opened...
No, but no, he didn't. Because the guy was sitting there telling them that it was not a gun, that it was a toy truck.
Opened fire. He missed Arnaldo, and he hit his caregiver. His caregiver survived, and the family has now filed suit. These victims survived their encounters, but not everybody is so lucky. The Rudderman Family Foundation reported that nearly a third to a half of all individuals...
TikTok kicked me off, by the way, earlier, because I use OBS to do all of my stuff, like this, and you have to interact with TikTok every hour or it kicks you off, and I totally forgot about it.
Individuals killed by the police are people with disabilities. Recent debates and movements regarding the excessive use of force by police officers has brought this conversation into national discourse. Now we must add to that. We must talk about the thousands of autistics and people with disabilities in general that are brutalized or killed by police every day. When you see a police officer, it should make you feel safe. It should make you feel like there is someone there to protect you. But this has happened to enough people that I know and enough people around the country to where that is not how I feel when I see a cop. I am not trying to stir up resentment between the disabled community and police officers.
I'm telling you, I was a cop for 15 years, and I am terrified of cops. I am absolutely terrified of cops. And I was a cop for 15 years. I am even more scared of cops, I think, because I was one. Because I know, I've seen what they do. I've seen their attitude. I know how they think. And they're predators, for the most part.
I am trying to demonstrate that this is an institutional problem. And it is in need of institutional solutions. First, we need accountability. As it stands, when a police officer is on trial for police brutality or even murder, the person who is their prosecutor is often someone that they work with, representing a major conflict of interest. And this usually results in the police officer being completely cleared of all charges. We must have a system of impartial, objective prosecutors that can ensure that if the law was broken...
It needs to stop being legal for cops to do what is illegal.
Justice is carried out. The second solution is training. Oftentimes, the excessive use of force against people with autism comes down to a simple lack of understanding. How to identify people with autism. How to handle people with autism.
Although, like I said, when they get that 2-hour course, then they think they know everything about autism. And if that person doesn't exactly act exactly as they think that they're supposed to, they're going to assume that you're on drugs and that you want to kill them. Remember, everything is they're on drugs and they want to kill you. That's the mentality.
Luckily, there are...
Remember, it's blue against the world. And that is the attitude. It is blue against the world. It's us and them.
Programs in place in order to help train police officers. Rob Zink is a police officer with the Minnesota St. Paul Police Department who created the COP Autism Response Education Project in order to train his fellow officers. This was successfully implemented in his own police department. And programs like this need to be a national standard. This has hurt people that I care about. The institutions that we trust to protect us should never be the source of our fear. Reform is possible if we stand up and say that this cannot continue. Well, that's today's video. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, give it a like, a share, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Check out some of my other stuff.
That was cool.
And if you have any questions or topics you'd like addressed, please leave them.
That was super cool because it sounds like he doesn't normally do that kind of content.
Aviation maintenance technicians ensure that an aircraft complies with airworthiness directives and are safe.
Dramatic body cam.
Once again, we have a young, it was a very good video. Once again, we have a young, black autistic kid.
Video from Apple Valley.
Now this is what's really disturbing about this. They knew about this kid. He's 14 years old, and he happened to have a rake. Maybe they'll show it. I don't know if they will or not. But there are two grown-ass men in body armor that because he had a rake, they decided to murder him instead of like dealing with the situation. And they knew the kid was autistic. Let's watch.
A sheriff's deputy opens fire on a 15-year-old suspect. His family claims he has autism and was having an episode.
He has
the family
a rake.
called law enforcement on the team, but are saying that deputies went too far.
Now a lethal use of force investigation is underway. KTLA's Shelby Nelson is in Apple Valley with the latest.
I'm sure they were clear of this too.
Where's he at?
Now this is, once again, Mom, this is what sucks. Okay. We're at 25 seconds, okay? It's going to take them about 4 seconds from contact to kill this kid. 4 seconds. Now, this family has lived with this kid for 14 years or however old he is and not killed him once. But the cops show up and they can only deal with him for 4 seconds. Watch.
Hey, get back! Get back, you're gonna get shot!
They're tense moments that only last for about 5 to 7 seconds once 15-year-old
5
Ryan
seconds.
Gaynor comes into view on this Apple Valley deputy's body camera. Authorities say they received an emergency call on Saturday.
They keep on cutting it
At
out.
around 4:48 in the afternoon, Apple Valley deputies were dispatched to a home on Iroquois Road where they say the teen was assaulting family members and damaging property.
Yes, assault and battery.
Okay, so that's your brother and he's assaulting your sister.
Yes.
Okay.
Now he's banging on door.
The 911 call lasting for more than 5 minutes.
So now they have been to this house a bunch of times. They knew this kid was autistic, but the thing is Mom set him up to be murdered here because she called the cops. Once again, like I said, he's 14 years old or whatever. She's dealt with him for 14 years and not once had to murder him. But they get 5 seconds and they murder him.
Parts of it removed by law enforcement, seemingly to not disclose addresses or personal information.
Does he still have glass in his hand?
Yes, he does.
Here's a different view from another deputy approaching the house. Authorities say Gaynor charged at a deputy with a garden tool that had a sharp bladed end, prompting the shooting.
It was a fan rake. It was a freaking fan rake. and that they have body armor. And watch this.
The family's attorney tells KTLA Gaynor was
it.
autistic and having a mental health crisis. Police not confirming that and not confirming if they were aware of the circumstances when they arrived.
I don't really know the family.
I don't know if they're going to show it or
I see
not.
the boy coming from the school bus usually on a daily basis. He walked by.
And once again, it's a young black kid.
The front of my house, and I'll wave. He usually waves back.
What the heck? Here, Gaynor is on a swing in video his family's attorney shared with us. The attorney saying the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department is not telling the whole story.
They knew or should have known that Ryan was an individual, a teen with autism.